Hello there and welcome to Black Jackal Gaming. We're going to take a look at the Inner Circle Companions, which is a Dark Angels elite unit for the new codex. They're quite a close comparison to the current Blade Guard veterans. They have a large amount of characters within the codex and codex Space Marines that can join the unit, and they've got a double melee profile, so there's a lot of flexibility built into there to change which targets you want to target. There's a couple of good keywords that have been added to the melee weapons to give them a bit more flexibility. And they've got a good durability ability to keep them around just a little bit longer. They do have an okay character targeting ability, but it's quite niche and probably won't come up that often. The codex points do seem a little bit on the high side, but in the past the codex points haven't been accurate and there's been new points released on arrival. So the datasheet comes in with a profile of movement 6, toughness 4, 3 up save, 3 wounds, leadership 6 and 2 objective control. They come in a unit of 3 to 6 models, being 105 or 210 points, and they have the Tacticus and Deathwing keyword. For the range profile, they have a ballistic skill 3, and they only come equipped with a heavy bolt pistol. There are no upgrades available. So the bolt pistol has the pistol keyword, allowing it to still shoot in combat. Has an 18-inch range, 1 attack, strength 4, -1 AP and 1 damage. And for the melee profile, it comes in at a weapon skill 3, which is a tad on the disappointing side. And they only come with a Caliban Greatsword, no upgrades available. There's 2 profiles you can choose to use, the first being the strike profile, which has the lethal hits, so critical hits of a 6 will automatically wound the target. It's 4 attacks, strength 6, -1 AP, 2 damage. Or you can choose to have the sweep profile, which gives you sustained hits 2 on a critical hit, and that's 4 attacks, strength 6, -1 P, and just 1 damage this time. Unless you're targeting a toughness 3 unit, you're probably always going to take the strike profile, but if you are targeting a toughness 3 unit, then having that wounds on 2 and you've got sustained hits 2 on a critical hit of 6 might be quite nice. They come with 2 built-in abilities, the first one being Braziers of Judgment. While you're being led with a character, you are -1 to be hit for all incoming attacks, which is quite nice, but it is a slight tax that you have to pay for a character to get this ability. Then the second one being Enmity of the Unworthy. Each time you target a character unit, you get +1 to the hit roll. That's not going to come up that often, really. It might be nice if it was +1 to the wound roll, perhaps. But any additional efficiency is always well received. So what buffs and combos can you give to these guys? We're going to look at it strictly from a Dark Angels perspective, so there are a lot of Space Marine characters that you can include. We're going to look just at the Dark Angels ones. So first up we have Azrael. He gives you sustained hits 1 and also a 4-up invulnerability save, which is quite nice. Then you got the Chaplain Asmodai. He gives you a reroll to your melee hit roll. And if you're in melee with a character unit, you can force them to take a battle shock test, which is quite nice. Ezekiel gives you the ability to have a 4-up Feel No Pain against psychic attacks, and you can also select 1 unit within 18 inches in your shooting phase and cause it to have a battle shock test. So the main detachment that you're going to get the best out of these guys probably is the Inner Circle Task Force. The detachment rule for this: at the start of command phase, you select 1 objective marker on the battlefield, and this is now your vowed objective. Each time you make an attack that's against an enemy unit that's within range of this objective, you get +1 to the wound roll, which is quite nice for you trying to really highlight those key targets that you want to get rid of. So we've got a piece of war gear called the Deathwing Assault. This gives the unit the deep strike keyword, and you can set up in turns 1 to 3 onwards, regardless of what the mission rules are, so that's quite nice. It allows you to come in maybe a little bit later than you would with these guys, maybe from turn 2 onwards, drop in, score some points, and then set up a turn 2 or 3 charge. Then you got the Martial Drill, which is a stratagem. You get to reroll wound rolls of 1 in melee, and if this unit's in range of the vowed objective, you get a full reroll to your wound roll, which is very nice. Then you've got the Wrath of Lion, another stratagem. After the charge roll, you roll 1d6 for each model in this unit, and on a 4+, it does 1 mortal wound to your target unit. This is for a maximum of 3 mortal wounds. So again, a nice little damage output there. Unmatched Fortitude, there's another stratagem. When you targeted for a ranged attack, if the strength of that attack is above your toughness, is -1 to the wound roll. So there's quite a way to buff these guys. Like you can give them Azrael, and in melee, if you select the strike profile, you're going to have sustained hits 1 and lethal hits on critical hit rolls, which is very nice. If they're on the Avow target, you're going to get that +1 to your wound roll. And if you use the martial drill stratagem, you get to reroll the wound roll if you're on the Avowed as well. So you can get a lot of efficiency out of these guys. Maybe not into the higher toughness targets that you would have thought these guys would be there to take on. They're basically a bit of a weak blade guard at the moment. They're more expensive, they have a worse save, and they have less AP on their melee attacks. They also don't have the inbuilt rerolls to 1 that they can choose to have when in melee. Unless these guys have a points drop on release, you don't really have any need to take these over Blade Guard. You're always going to take them as an option, just with that additional AP, the better save, the inbuilt reroll to hits. They're just a better option at the moment, unfortunately. Thank you for watching the video. If you have any comments, then pop them below in the comment section. If you enjoyed the video, then please hit the like button, as it greatly helps the channel. Hit the subscribe button to see any future Warhammer content. Take it easy, and see you next time for more grim darkness from the 41st millennium.